Peace for Ukraine or Ukraine now. Russia just go home.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Then sometimes we also do something for Mother's Day, talking about dairy and how dairy cows are mistreated and linking them to the occasion of Mother's Day.
Continue watching to find out more.
Imagine our world with no more killing, neither man nor animal people. Everyone is vegan. Everyone will have peace. We can do it. It's in our hands to make this world a paradise.
We must speak up until every animal is free!
Intelligent viewers, Messi means thank you in Turks and Caicos Creole, an English-based Creole spoken in the Turks and Caicos Islands. I am Jamel, together with the generous and beautiful people of Turks and Caicos. We pray that our shared vision of a vegan world, where all beings are treated with compassion and respect, soon becomes a reality. Dr. Alex Hershaft, vegan, is an influential animal people rights activist and president and co-founder of the non-profit farm animal rights movement, FARM. He became a vegetarian in 1961 and a vegan in 1981. Dr. Hershaft is also a Holocaust survivor, born in Warsaw, Poland, in 1934. He was only 6 years old when the Nazis invaded Poland. After surviving the Warsaw Ghetto, he spent 5 years in an Italian refugee camp before successfully immigrating to the US at age 16. Dr. Hershaft often asked himself, why was I allowed to live when so many people were not? And what could I do to repay the debt? The answers came unexpectedly when, as part of his job at an environmental consulting firm, he was sent to inspect a Midwestern slaughterhouse in 1972. There, he came across piles of discarded animal people body parts that reminded him of the Warsaw Ghetto. The incident spurred him into action, and in 1976, Dr. Hershaft founded the world's first organization dedicated to championing the rights of animal people bred for food. Since then, he has devoted his life to ending all forms of oppression, whether human or animal people. He serves as a beacon of hope even in the darkest of times. Let us embark on an exciting journey to learn about Dr. Hershaft's shift to a plant-based vegan diet. We will discover how he stepped out of his comfort zone to connect with like-minded individuals who share his vision for a vegan world. This episode is filled with practical tips and compelling tales that will inspire you to join the compassionate vegan movement.
So it wasn't until 1971 that if you were very careful about combining proteins, that you could get away without eating animal flesh. So I embraced it, and I became good friends with Frances Mourlapé, the author. She actually acknowledges me in her book. And I went on very happily combining my proteins, eating peas and rice and stuff, and confident that I would no longer get sick and die. And so this is where things were. And pretty much in the 70s. And then Lopez's book made a big difference. And then the Senate Select Committee on Nutrition and Human Needs published the first dietary goals for the United States, which not only said you don't have to have animal flesh, but you're actually better off not having it. So that was very liberating, but it was still a very personal thing. Okay, I didn't know any other vegetarians. It was very personal. I didn't tell anybody that I was a vegetarian because I didn't want to have to explain. And then I came across, somebody handed me a leaflet that there would be a World Vegetarian Congress held in Orono, Maine in the summer of 1975. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, should I go? Now, if I go, what happens if I don't like them? Will I continue to be vegetarian? And then what happens if they don't like me? Can I still continue to be vegetarian? I went there. I went there full of doubts and apprehensions. And I still tear up thinking about it. It was a life-changing experience. I mean, there were about 1,500 people from all over the world in all kinds of dress, in all kinds of economic station, different genders, different ages. And the only thing they had in common is that they eat animals. And for the first time in my life, I felt I belonged, my people. And I immediately became active.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. The Seychelles is one of them. Seychelles Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. People who treat animal people cruelly fail to provide the basic needs of animal persons in their care, overwork animal folk, or engage animal individuals in fights will be fined according to the violation, have the animal people removed from their care for a period of time, and be charged with boarding fees. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses, no more hurting, no more murdering them to eat, to lab tests, or for any reason at all. Be vegan, make peace, so be it.
During the early stages of Dr. Hershaft's animal people rights activism, he focused on addressing the gaps in existing movements with little expectation of fame or recognition. However, his tireless efforts will eventually lead to breakthrough events like Action for Life, a national conference held in 1981 in Allentown, Pennsylvania, USA, that started the animal people rights movement. The Silver Spring monkey people case related to abuse of animal people in laboratory experimentation, and his instrumental role in promoting People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, a Shining World Compassion Award recipient, to the public.
I became active in 1975. I just didn't have farm yet. I wasn't into animal rights. The animal rights concept back then was totally absurd, abstract. It was just about not eating animals, but not about them having any rights. So I had this organization called Vegetarian Information Service, which was basically just me and a couple of volunteers. So this went on for about 5 years. Then in 1981, what happened is that one thing I was doing as part of holding little conferences, and there were people showing up at these conferences who had read Peter Singer's book, which was published in 1975, and they were arguing about animal rights. And back then, it was like somebody coming to your conference today and arguing about the rights of trees or rocks. This was now 5 years after the World Vegetarian Congress. The local vegetarian groups were basically social groups. They would have picnics and dinners and that sort of thing. And I felt that maybe there was room for some social activism here. I didn't know exactly what, but I saw the energy of the animal rights people. And I said, why don't I invite them to the next conference and see what happens? Well, the next conference was the famous one in August of 1981 in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And what happened is that the animal rights people took over. And, and that became the birthplace of the animal rights movement. The most notable thing that happened there was that Alex Pacheco, who was a good friend of mine, a young man who had volunteered at the Institute for Biomedical Research and taken photographs of how they were abusing macaque monkeys, brought all his footage, photographs to the conference. At the conference, he met Cleveland Emery, who not only was a published famous author, but also was a huge media guru. And Cleveland was very impressed with the footage that Alex showed him and made a few phone calls to his media friends. And the so-called Silver Spring Monkeys became national news and placed both this little student organization called People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals and the very animal rights movement into the national consciousness on the front pages of all the major newspapers.
Turn vegan. Soar above all violence and cruelty. Be your godlike self again.
Lovely viewers, we will take a short break and step outside for a moment to appreciate the beauty of nature in its summer splendor. We will be right back. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
We pray for Ukraine, or Ukraine.
Welcome back to our show featuring Dr. Alex Hershaft, vegan, trailblazing icon for animal people rights, part 2 of 2. Dr. Alex Hershaft's unwavering commitment to animal people rights is exemplified by his co-founding of the non-profit organization Farm Animal Rights Movement, FARM, where he serves as president. We will now listen to Dr. Hershaft as he sheds light on the various activities carried out by FARM.
So first of all, we have these so-called seasonal campaigns, which means that we have them every year for specific occasions. So the first one of that is Meet Out, which is on the first day of spring, March 20th. And the idea here is anybody can do whatever they feel is most effective. But basically, we ask people to talk to their friends and relatives and coworkers and get them to stop eating animals, at least for a day, for a week, to pledge some period of time. That started in 1985, and it has had its ups and downs. There were times when we had as many as several hundred events going on throughout the world. Now it's less. Then next is Vegan Earth Day. And what we do is we go to Earth Day events and we distribute leaflets and display banners linking animal consumption with promoting environmental improvements. Then sometimes we also do something for Mother's Day, talking about dairy and how dairy cows are mistreated and linking them to the occasion of Mother's Day. And then in the fall, we have World Day for Farm Animals. That's on Gandhi's birthday, October 2nd. And that's a more somber holiday where we memorialize animals killed for food. And we ask people to fast and that sort of thing. So those are the seasonal campaigns. We do those every year. Then we also have a Compassionate Holidays campaign, which is kind of in late November, December. It encompasses Thanksgiving and Christmas and other holidays, year-end holidays. And we give people recipes and tell them how to substitute for animal components in traditional dishes.
Besides ongoing projects, Farm Animal Rights Movement has some excellent initiatives in the pipeline. Let us hear more from Dr. Hershaft about Farm's plans for the future.
We have 3 programs that are new. One is called veganvideos.org. And what it is, it's a catalog of several thousand vegan videos, which allows you to choose the type, the subject matter, the type of presentation, the length, and a number of other criteria about promoting veganism. That's fairly complete. We're in the last stages of it, but it's active. The next project we have in mind is in the early stages. So we have formulated 12 audiences, like athletes, parents of children, seniors, people with environmentalists and so forth. And we basically go to their media, their websites, wherever they get their information and advertise there and help them develop their skills that they're already interested in with a vegan twist, opening them to the idea of how our view can help them in their views, become better athletes or become more active seniors or whatever. So that's going to be a large long-term project concept. The next one is to try to preserve some of the natural affinity that children have for animals, so that when we come to them, so basically what happens now is we come to them, when they can make up their minds about their foods, which is high school, I guess, when they're 13, 14, 15. And we tell them, stop eating animals. And their basic response is, where were you 10 years ago when we cared? Now we've had 10 years of indoctrination by our most trusted sources, by our parents, our food providers, our teachers. So we want to see if there is a way to, whatever extent we can, to maintain that affinity. And one way we thought of maybe doing that is showing very short videos, maybe like 20 or 30 seconds, of children playing with farm animals on YouTube Kids. So this is very, very initial stages.
We sincerely thank you, Dr. Alex Hershaft, for dedicating your life to animal people. May your devotion inspire countless others to adopt the compassionate plant-based vegan diet and treat our precious animal friends with gratitude and unconditional love. For more information on Dr. Alex Hershaft and Farm Animal Rights Movement or FARM, please visit farmusa.org. To learn more about FARM's public awareness campaigns and international programs, please visit meetout.org, Green Your Plate, greenyourplate.org, teachdairy.com, World Day for Farmed Animals, dayforanimals.org, Compassionate Holidays, compassionateholidays.com, Vegan Videos, veganvideos.org, Never Again, never-again.org. To learn more about Animal Rights National Conference organized by FARM, please visit arconference.org.
Do not desire as food the flesh of slaughtered animals, or the white milk of mothers who intended its pure draught for their young. All Murray, vegan.
Enlightened viewers, thank you for being with us today for Dr. Alex Hershaft, vegan, trailblazing icon for animal people rights, part 2 of 2. Coming up next is the world's elevating consciousness and rising vegan trend, part 6 of 12. On Between Master and Disciples, right after noteworthy news. May the vegan lifestyle soon become mainstream, leading to lasting peace for all beings.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Russia, leave Ukraine or you reign now. Peace be with you too.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/VE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/VE.
Programele noastre oferă multe limbi. Vă puteți uita pe suprememastertv.com/schedule și suprememastertv.com/VE.